Finals football does not get much bigger than this. Good afternoon and welcome to Rockwell Automation Park for the 2025 Northern New South Wales NPL Men's Preliminary Final as the Weston Bears play host to the Lambton Jaffas. It's do or die football. Win today and book your spot in the grand final against Broadmeadow Magic next week. Lose and season over. Simple as that. The Bears come in looking to bounce back after last week's major semi-final defeat to the Magic. Nathan Morris said their side will lean heavily on the fortress factor here at Bear Park. They've won 8 of 10 home games this season. One of those losses, though, yes, it was to these Jaffas. The Jaffas' 2-0 win here just last month lit the spark for their 8-game unbeaten streak. They scored 28 goals during that run and head into today full of belief. David Tanchevsky's men have already knocked out Maitland and Edgeworth in must-win clashes, and now they're chasing a third straight major scalp to reach a 5th grand final in just 9 years. For Weston, this is about history and hunger. 30 years since their last top-flight title back in 1995. They've been building all week. They've been building all year. They've ticked every box, but as Morris said midweek, none of it matters unless they get the job done today. Alongside me this afternoon is Matt Butner, a man who knows this NPL competition inside out. Few can capture the theatre of game with words like him, and we've got a day to be calling a match like this. Butts, looking at these two sides, finals, high stakes, attacking weapons everywhere. What's the one factor you think decides today's contest?
Wow, you've said that brilliantly, Chris. And yeah, what a beautiful day here and what a fixture we have. Good attendance. Like you said, it's an opportunity to book your ticket into the final, into the big dance against Broadmeadow Magic. I think this game's going to go the distance. I've talked to a couple of people around the grounds, Chris, earlier today. I think this is going to be the game of the year. I see two good sides, two sides on form. The Jaffas looking to push 9 undefeated. Whereas, well, look, they had a very good season, but they have slipped up a couple of results at the end of the year, Weston. But like you said, it's been a fortress here. It's been an absolute fortress, and they've got great results, and they've got a good coaching staff and a good playing staff. They're going to give themselves a really good opportunity today to put Jaffas under pressure and Dave Tanjevsky. I think it's going to be a physical battle. I think the difference will be individual battles today. And look, again, the sun's out. How will fatigue play a factor? The pitch looks good. I think the ball's going to roll. The pitch is wide. We know both of these sides have plenty of talent moving forward, so I think there's plenty of goals as well.
Certainly an opportunity for plenty of goals. We see the two teams out there, the two captains, Kennedy and Hurley, plenty of experience right there as they talk to the referee. They go through the coin toss. It's all set. You couldn't ask for better weather. You couldn't ask for a better stage here. Obviously, we can see the renovations. I can't wait to see what Rockwell Automation Park looks like once it's all done. That's exciting to look forward to in the future. But these two teams are very focused on the present. Let's take a look at how the two teams do line up in the lead-up to kick-off here in the Northern New South Wales NPL Preliminary Final. The visitors, the Lambton Jaffas, they're starting 11 in goals. Of course, that man I just talked about, the experienced Ben Kennedy. Pat Bond will play through the midfield in jersey 3. Joey Langlois will be there as well in jersey 6. Up front will be Archie Finn in the 10. Number 11, Lockie Griffiths, number 15. The birthday boy, 24 today, the Milky Bar kid, Sam Zanellen. 17, the experience of Riley McNaughton. He'll play in the centre of defence. 23 out wide will be Tom Waller. The man who scored 2 goals last week, number 24, Matt Cahill. The young mid-season signing, number 25, Jordan Gu. And, of course, the veteran at the back alongside McNaughton is number 44, Nikolai Topor-Stanley. Their substitutes, Jack Pandell, Blake Carter, Lockie Graham, Oscar Krakenthorpe, Riley Taylor, Miles Gaffney and Carter Smith. And as Butte said before, their coach is David Tanchevsky. For the home side, the Western Bears in their white and black strip here on Bear Park. In goals will be Jared Roebuck. Their experienced Japanese back is Mana Iwasaki. Dom Archibald, one of the two famed Archibald brothers who are a key part of this Western side. 6, their captain Chris Hurley. 7, the man in midfield Connor Evans. 8, Dylan Burston comes into the starting lineup this week as their sole change from last week. 9, Chris Hatfield will start up top. 11, the other Archibald brother Blake Archibald. 12, Cooper Buswell. 18, Burke Farling, the experienced American midfielder who's just the energizer bunny. And, of course, 41, the lively Musa Kamara. As we get underway here, their substitutes, George Stevens, Brock Beveridge, Aaron Niankuru, Ryan Blackburn, Paul Sakawi, Kalen Law and Ashton Blank, and they're coached by Q Yarlians. Straight away, Weston lofted forward, and Ben Kennedy waves off Nikolai Topor-Stanley. I'll tell you what, the atmosphere here, it's a great crowd in on a wonderful Sunday afternoon, Buttes, and why wouldn't they be here? What a match we've got, and you can feel already the anticipation and the tension in the air.
Yeah, of course, Chris, and like you said, the conditions are brilliant, the pitch is looking good. There's two teams that are excited and ready to get into grand final football. Two sides that had a great season, and look, I'll talk about the Jaffas first. They started the season quite poorly, and they've gone on an 8-game run now, turned their season around, and suddenly the excitement in and around the change room, the confidence they have. I know that all too well being into training with the boys, and look, they're coming here today with no fear whatsoever.
Certainly out. Finn plays it forward. There's young Goo. He's been a live wire addition in. We're talking about him pre-game off the air and what he's brought to this side. He was kind of a bit part player, just hadn't quite found his rhythm at Valentine, and he's gone to another level. His former club, though, Valentine, did secure their spot in the 2026 NPL yesterday in a win in the promotion relegation playoff. It's a huge time of year and a huge weekend of football, and of course it doesn't end here today. As Butte said, this one may well go the distance, but straight after this at 4:30 we will have the women's preliminary final from Cook Square Park, as well as Maitland take on Newcastle Olympic for a spot in that decider up against Charles Senazuri. The premiers went through last week in a penalty shootout as Lambton pushed forward again. The early presses have come Lambton's way and gone in Lambton's favour. There's McNaughton, brought up his 200 games recently in the NPL, which is a phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, very phenomenal. And if you look at both clubs, there's experience riddled between either side, and the man on the ball now, Topos Stanley, it's a perfect example. There's no doubt he'll be leading the ship today. Matty Cahill, well,
yeah, Matty Cahill, he's injected well in the absence of Jimmy Oates. Obviously, a big loss for the Jaffas a couple of weeks ago, out for the season. But as you say, here we go. They go forward looking for the pace of Waller, but just a little overhit by Finn. Topos Stanley, it's easy to forget. That's a man that not only has he been in the NPL now for a number of seasons after starting his career in the NPL in Canberra, he played over 300 games in the A-League. He's won an Asian Champions League. Like, that's the experience that we've got out here at Bear Park today. And then you've got veterans of the NPL on both sides as well. We talked about Chris Hurley before, these sorts of guys. Even the Archbolds, the number of games they've got at a reasonably young age, it's phenomenal. And this is why we're at the pointy end of the season with these two teams. As McNaughton tries to lob that one forward, and Roebuck will just trap it with his boot.
Yeah, just a little scare there from McNaughton at the back. Just a little bit loose. He's just getting his touches in early in the game. Like I said earlier, the pitch here at Rockwell Automation Park is unbelievable. And I think we're going to see a good brand of football from both sides today. I think the ball's going to roll true.
There's barely a spare seat in the house, noting that the grandstand is out of action, but all of the bleachers that have been put in, they're all full. There's people standing as well. Great to see a good, healthy crowd in at this point of the season. Waller goes long with the throw, looking for Cahill. Headed away, though, by Burston. There he is again on the ball, as we touched on. Just the one change. Burston coming into the side for Beveridge. Beveridge on the bench today. Burston slotting onto the edge of the defensive line. Kamara pushing up onto the edge of midfield, where he's probably more naturally comfortable. And Cooper Buswell starting up front, providing a nice physical target to partner with the touch and grace of Chris Hatfield.
Yeah, look, it's a solid lineup for both teams. And I know on your podcast earlier in the year, I spoke very highly of Weston, and my opinions shifted quickly with the Jaffas as well, and the recent form they've been on. I think this is going to be the match of the season for me, Chris.
It's a huge game, and it'll be interesting to see what impetus the winner can take into next week. Yeah, I'm sure that made you really popular in the Lambton sheds when you tipped Weston to win the comp. Admittedly, Lambton was sitting 7th or 8th at that point, and they were fighting for whether they'd make it into finals or not. And you might not have even known at that point that you're going to be back in the sheds, because I think you're only just starting to lightly train at that point after your earlier knee injury. So how'd that go down with the Jaffas boys, mate?
I think I had every right to say what I did, but...
Oh, I'm not arguing that, but, we know that logic doesn't dictate reaction as Cahill tries to curl one round. Oh! What a shot! Matt Cahill from outside the box. Back-to-back weeks, he scores the opener. And the Jaffas draw first blood here at Rockwell Automation Park in the preliminary final.
Wow, absolute scenes here, and what a strike from Matty Cahill. I believe he just hit it first time there. Just all things got unstuck for Western Bears, playing out from the back, and that man Matty Cahill, he just pounced on it. What a strike. 1-0 to the visitors.
Wow, he did it last week as well. He slotted into that starting lineup for Oates, and he shocked Edgeworth with an early one, and we knew that Lambton would come out hard and fast, and they've done that. They've had most of the territory, and Roebuck just looked like he got a little bit caught off guard with that shot, and it just curled so nicely and rippled inside the side netting. He's got such finish, such touch, and such prowess, Matty Cahill. And the Jaffas scoring run, they couldn't buy a goal the first half of the season, and now they're just scoring for fun.
Yeah, unbelievable. Great finish from Matty Cahill, as we just said, and credit to Archie Finn as well. The press on Iwasaki. Well, he's been brilliant for Western Bears this year as well, but just got unstuck. Now it's a foot race on the other end.
Certainly is Hatfield versus Topple Stanley. Topple Stanley just scuffs that one down for Waller. And that's really taken a little bit of air out of this Weston crowd. Utes, as has that knock.
Blake Archbold, I think, was the one who
holding his head.
Copped the Falcon, unfortunately. Hopefully nothing too sinister there. Didn't look too good.
Just stings a little, doesn't it, when you get one, especially unexpected. It tends to be... Yeah, unexpected. It's probably a bit worse on a cold day, but it doesn't tickle on a warm day either, Butts. So, yeah, look, I'm glad it's not me. Let's try and...
Yeah, me either.
There must be moments where you see things like that and you're just like, okay, well, there's some things I don't miss about football.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anyone would be on the receiving end of that one. But look, again, I know Blake Archbold. I know he'll get up and bounce back from this. He, hopefully it's not too bad of a concussion. I think he'd definitely want to shake it off and get back on the field. But yeah, just going over that goal again, Chris. Like, so early in the piece, and you know the pressure from Archie Finn. He's had a mixed bag of a year, but one thing that I do know Archie Finn is he works so hard. And he's got that dog mentality, and he's a player that you don't want to play against. He's a player that you want to play with because he's going to give you 100% every week. And he knows his job, he knows his role, and he executed perfectly, putting pressure on that centre-back, which ultimately resulted in the goal for Matty Cahill.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We talked about this the other week with Harry Scobie when they won the first semi-final. Archie got on the score sheet for the first time this year. A lot of people, measure the soulless and bowless of a striker on the number of goals they score. And while Archie can score goals, and most seasons he would have had more than the one that he's got this year, what he's provided in terms of a foil and some of the other things where he's created space because of how high he plays with that back to goal is a big part of where the Jaffas have started finding goals in recent weeks as well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And I think the measure of a good team is when everyone knows their role. And I think that's exactly where the Jaffas are. The boys coming off the bench know their job, as well as the boys starting. They can only give 60 minutes. Give it a good 60 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good spot when you've got guys like Carter Smith, Riley Taylor, Lockie Graham and co coming off the bench. Again, we talked about all through the finals. Every one of these teams that's in the final series, the depth of those benches, it just talks to the quality and quantity of star players in the Northern New South Wales NPL. There's players on the bench of every one of the top 6 or 7 teams that I think, 5 or 6 years ago would have been walk-up starts in a lot of clubs.
Yeah, I'd agree. The standard in the league at the moment's great, and the football that's being played is awesome as well. And I know we mentioned yesterday in the playoff relegation promotion battle about the exciting prospect of the Newcastle All-Stars team playing against Mark Milligan's Jets side, both men and women. So that's really exciting to come in the next coming weeks.
And it could be in the lead-up to, depending on the result later today, of course, the Jets in action up against Avondale down in Melbourne in the Australia Cup semi-final. It could be the Jets in the lead-up to their first ever Australia Cup final, which would be against Heidelberg after they knocked out Auckland yesterday. So a great chance to play against a very meaningful game, potentially, for the Northern New South Wales All-Stars, and some of them to maybe get their name in lights in front of the likes of Mark Milligan and co. There's a nice ball from Topple Stanley out in front of Waller. He curls it in towards the box. Kamara just gets a little touch on it. Scuff shot in the end from Gooey. Would have liked to have got a better piece of that.
Yeah, positive play there from the Jaffas and Tommy Waller with a wicked ball in, forcing the Western Bears to scramble a little bit. Goo would have liked to have that opportunity again, but just on Tommy Waller as well, hasn't he found form over the last couple of weeks, suddenly scoring a couple of goals for the Jaffas and full of confidence. I think he's going to give Dylan Burston a big day on this near touchline, running up and down that flank.
He certainly will. I'm looking forward to that battle between he and Blake Archbold, actually, because both of them like to play end-to-end sort of football. They're both electric. They've both got good touch. And they both just like to sort of, get the elbows and nudges and little things in as well. So that'll be a great evenly matched contest as Weston try and go forward. Their first real foray into the attacking half. They push up here. And here's Hatfield sitting out wide. Archbold slotted into the middle. Hatfield just beating a couple. Plays it off Archbold. Hatfield comes through, manages to maintain possession, but just couldn't get that last touch. But that's promising from the Bears. And Iwasaki solid at the back. Evans there now. Decides to go back to his captain in Hurley. Waller just prods that away with the head towards the sideline. There's Burston. Little touch on by Buswell. Waller has to push back and tracks back and feeds it over the sideline. Riley Taylor, love in the background there, Buttes. Fans getting around him. He's got his own little fan club, the Impact Man off the bench.
Yeah, that's awesome to see.
I'm seeing a bit of that, coming and trying to make Fortress Bear Park a little bit more friendly for the Jaffas. Weston now plays it into Evans. This time though, Goo takes it away. Bodied on, tries to tow it forward for himself, gets his leg wrapped around. What about Archie Finn? Just bisects the difference between Iwasaki and Burst, and then Iwasaki tries to take him on, comes off second best and fires it at the near post, but Roebuck's down to it. Archie Finn using all of his physique there. That was a great physical battle between he and Iwasaki. Iwasaki doesn't often come off second best.
No, not at all, and that's brilliant work in the near touchline here from Archie Finn. Like you said, putting all his physical attributes to display. And with a strike to finish as well, forcing a good save near post. The Jaffas are just tightening the screws a little bit. Opportunity for the birthday boy to rip in a good ball and try and extend this lead.
I wonder if they get up here, if it's a happy birthday song straight off the back of the team song for Sam Donnell. And I tell you what, he'd trade all his gifts for a win today, though. Just sorting out a little bit of theatre down in the goal mouth is our referee. A few Jaffas players trying to keep Jared Roebuck very close company. Donnellan curls it in. Players on the ground, referee watchful and happy to leave Burke Farling and Matt Cahill to their business there. And Tom Waller will come down and take the throw. Donnellan will return to the other side. Langwire presents as an option. He decides to go forward looking for Finn, and there's a bit of an appeal for a foul there, but nothing we saw. The ball crosses the line and Weston will take the throw through Archbold. He looks to go quickly. Decides nothing presents, so trickles it back for Burston to return it all the way back to Iwasaki. Finn's going to press up on him, force the issue, and that's great pressure from Finn.
Yeah, he's definitely winning those battles. Yeah, he's definitely winning those battles between Iwasaki and himself to start this game off. He's done a really good job up the top. He's someone who often builds into games, and I just feel like he's come out with a really intentional piece of making an early statement. And as you said, he was heavily involved, not a direct assist, but heavily involved in that opening goal. And he's won a couple of individual battles, which will fill him full of confidence, and he'll be feeling that, extra couple of inches taller at the moment, Archie Finn. Yeah, definitely. I know he's a confidence player, and that's going to do the world of good for him moving forward for the rest of this half. But we haven't seen a whole lot of Weston and ball possession thus far this game, so can they enjoy a spell of possession now and get those ball players on the ball and moving these Jaffas defence around?
Certainly looking a little more fluent than they did last week. They were very disjointed, very un-Western-like last week. And Broadmeadow took advantage of that, finding that pocket in behind Chris Hurley a couple of times. We were talking off air, the electric pace of Jared Baker. There's not really a real answer for that in this competition. It's just about how you best mute it. And that's going to be a problem for one of these sides next week. But he was the undoing last week of Weston, a little bit disjointed, lacking communication, it appeared in the defensive line. And he just kept sniffing in behind, and you only need to give him not even half a step, a quarter of a step to Jared Baker, and you turn and he's gone. But you're someone who's played a lot of defence, and I'm sure you've marked up and matched up against him.
Yeah, of course. No, Baker's an unreal player, probably one of the best wingers to play in the competition, and for me personally as a fullback, probably the toughest opposition I've faced in this competition. So I have no doubt that he's a key man for Broadmeadow, and whoever does come up against them next week, whether it be Weston or the Jaffas, or the fullbacks have got a handful.
I think you'll be fairly high up on the tip sheet leading in next week for either of these sides. What we do know is it's going to be an absolute cracker next week at Darling Street. Both days, the men's and women's grand finals, as we get to the pinnacle of what's been a wonderful season despite some, I think fair to say, challenging weather.
Very fair.
And again, credit to all of the ground staff around our grounds. Magic Park yesterday looked great. This has gone to another level here at Rockwell Automation Park. And the club at Weston have done a great job, even with all the construction going on, making sure that everyone's been able to be accommodated with parking and everything else. It's been great today. And the weather gods have shone on us, quite literally, pardon the pun. So Weston trying to claim that Donnellan got the last touch. The referee waves that away and we'll have a goal kick.
Yeah, interesting there. First time they've gone left, Western Bears. Dom Archbold started this game off pretty quiet. And we know, well, I know as well, calling a couple of games, Western games this year, that's definitely an outlet for the Western Bears. They like to use Dom and his youth and athleticism to try and get down that left flank. So we haven't seen a whole lot of it now. Hurley again with that left foot. He hasn't had a whole lot of ball. The Jaffas have just been suffocating him a little bit on this big field. It has taken a bit of time for the Bears to get a hold of this game.
Yeah, Weston quite often look for those sort of athletic mismatches for the two Archbold players, don't they? And I don't think against Dunellan and Waller they're probably going to quite find that today. They're quite evenly matched, and I'm really looking forward to those two edge battles from both these sides. And these two teams match up really well in a lot of key spots when you look at it. Like, you know, you've got Hatfield, who's quite often the attacking threat for them, and he comes up against McNaughton and Topple Stanley today. They've obviously gone with a bit more size up front, Buswell as well, probably to try and take on Topple Stanley there and the physicality that he's got. And similarly, as we saw that battle there, Evans and Langlois, Farling as well. Interesting to watch Farling up against Goo, I think, today. That might be a spot where Weston might have identified the inexperience of Jordan Goo, but we'll wait and see what they come with. As they do well. Speaking of experience, Iwasaki does well. Matt Cahill does even better, but then they turn it over. Archbold prods it in. Topple Stanley's there.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Chris. I think the individual battles, I mentioned it pre-game, I think it's going to be very important in deciding who's going to win this one. And it's a great ball out wide to Matty Cahill. Looks like he might take on... He looks to go back to Joey Langlois.
Langlois feeds it out, looking for Goo. The bounce sits right up. This pitch playing nice and true today. Nice and firm surface. He pops it back to Dunellan. He returns it. Looks for the little overlapping run. Not there. Goo just tracking back, trying to figure out options. Goes to McNaughton, who tries to prod it forward for Bond, who hasn't had a lot of involvement early, Pat Bond. It's been majority of the action on the opposite side of the field. As Kamara just gets a little bump and draws a foul. Iwasaki here. Archie Finn just making a nuisance of himself and closing that passing lane between the centre backs. Pressing nice and high while the rest of the team sort of sets a block. Hurley decides to take a run, and I think there's going to be a big focus for Chris Hurley today on tracking back from those runs. It's where there was a few holes opened up last week. That ball, though, couldn't be brought under control by Dylan Burston. We'll have a throw in deep in defensive territory for the Jaffas.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. I think I have no doubt Q Allens would probably be asking for a bit more discipline from his back line today, and you know, possibly the reason why he's put Dylan Burston in that back line as well, just to try and lock things up a little bit more. He'd know Jaffas and their threat moving forward with their wingers as well as their fullbacks. Dave Tanjeski likes to use the likes of Tommy Waller and Sam Dunellan to add that extra man in a wide area, so I think the approach from Weston...
What a mistake there. Hurley just stepped in. Well dealt with by the referee. We don't need any more there. Lockie Griffiths may be appealing for a yellow, but it was just stepped in and used his strength. It was after the ball, but not much more than that. So I have to say, what we've seen across the final series so far, we've seen a few of these games where there's been potential flashpoints and different things. The referees have handled it really well. We commented on it yesterday. It was certainly a fiercely contested game between Valentine and West Wallsend, considering what was on the line in terms of top-tier football versus second-tier football for next year. And again, it was really well dealt with, really well handled. Use cards when you need them. Don't pull them out early because that can just pour fuel on the fire. And I think our match officials have done a great job this season so far, and undoubtedly will do for the next this weekend and next as we come to a point of the season. And
I'd have to second that, Chris. They've done an exceptional job this year, and again, well adjudicated thus far for this game. Now, Griffiths has got a great opportunity from striking range.
It'll just drift back across. It's not strong, not nearly as gusty as it was yesterday at Magic Park, but might be enough. He aims it for that top corner. No, he didn't get it off the ground. A little deflection from Hurley, and we'll see a corner. But he might have tried to just float that up a little bit more, and I'm sure that he would have liked to get a little bit more vertical lift on that one.
Yeah, I think that was heart in mouth just for a split second there from Hurls. That could have ricocheted anywhere.
Yeah, I think Jared Roebuck wasn't pumped about it when he started going left and realised he needed to come back right. It's you don't have a lot to do in terms of reacting there, and a lot of time to turn things back around explosively. So what can Dunellan do? He left the first one a little short. Lots of numbers around that spot. Top of Stanley at the front post. It pops up. Roebuck takes it above his head. Nice strong mark, and then gives Archie Finn a bit of what for. He's not going to let the big man up front for the other team get away with much. Weston feigns it to load up there, and Matt Cahill's not buying it. Just push it across the sideline, forces the throw. The Jaffas just over 20 gone, lead here, away from home, chasing a 9-game undefeated streak and a ticket to the grand final. His advantage the away side early after a wonderful Matt Cahill strike, curled inside the right upright. Weston just trying to work it out of their own half. They haven't had a lot of territory. Good with a bit of an agricultural challenge. Iwasaki feeds it back to Roebuck, who sets Hurley free. He's got time and space. He'll travel forward. He likes to go on all adventures from the back line, does Hurley. Pops it out in front, but no runners.
Yeah, Weston just not finding answers at the moment. Just, you used that word yesterday, probing, trying to find some sort of solution to break down this pretty solid Jaffas defence at the moment. Sitting in a disciplined block, they just have Archie Finn trying to work things from the front line and direct the ship, but there is a bit of movement from Weston. I know we saw Buswell starting up front with Hatfield, and he's trying to roll out with Burke going forward as well. And that's probably the luxury for Q Allens, is you've got so many players that can rotate in and out everywhere.
Kamara, nice ball out in front of Hatfield. McNaughton deflects it. Top of Stanley plays it back. Kennedy, a stab, and pushes it across the sideline. And it's an interesting thing. We've talked about Burke Farling and how busy and active he is. That block that Lambton are putting in the centre of midfield is essentially pushing Weston to go around, which absolutely negates and neutralises Farling, who's one of their best weapons.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been one of the standout performers in the competition this year. We've talked about this off air a couple of times, and he's been left pretty quiet today. And I have no doubt, Q Allens and the Western Bears would want to get the ball at his feet. So I think his opportunities will be flowing if he does. But like I said, Jaffas have got the answers at the moment for everything Western are throwing at him.
Certainly do. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it on record now. If Burke Farling doesn't finish right at the pointy end of Player of the Year, I will be very surprised in terms of consistency, impact and influence he's had on so many games across the season. I think he's got to be right up there. I'm not saying he has to win it, but he's got to be in the. If we look at it like the 100 metres at the Olympics, he's got to be in the last 8 in the final as Burston just decides to have a little bit of a pot shot, and that's probably a bit of a sign of frustration. They haven't been able to get into that front third.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It was positive play early. I mean, you've got the ball shifting from left to right, and again, the flanks. This is a wide field, so Burston can have a little bit of joy here if the ball gets out early. Just the execution was lacking. Archie Finn again winning out. Matty Cahill with an opportunity.
Kamara tracking back does enough just to break it up. Iwasaki a little bit forward. Wins out against Finn. Finn still leading the points battle, but Iwasaki will be happy to get a blow. Speaking of a blow, Waller and Archbold going toe-to-toe. Topple Stanley under pressure. Plays out. Bond's tracking back. This is a better press from Weston. Forcing the lofted ball. Iwasaki gets another one. Is the momentum shifting here? Kamara just misdirects that pass, but Burston cleans up. Archbold, he'll plug it back to Burston, who uses Iwasaki, and now a bit more of a press from the Jaffas. Bond does well to break it up. Langlois out wide to the goal scorer in Cahill. 3 goals in 2 games. Goo, nice little step over. Kamara trying to chase with him. Gets a little touch on it, does he? No. Stepped over it, says the referee, and we'll have a goal kick.
Yeah, well defended from Kamara, and Matty Cahill again getting some good service on the left side, but found answers to defend that. Goo as well in that number 10 position for the Jaffas. He's been a great signing coming across from Valentine, and he's had a lot of touches early in this game as well.
Certainly has one of the rising young stars of this competition. Interesting to watch his journey over the next couple of years. I think he's going to be a highly sought after talent with the leap he's taken since the start of the year to now, over the last sort of 6 or 7 months. So he went from being sort of a fringe first 11 player at Valentine to now a pivotal part of a side fighting for a berth in the grand final. Archbold takes a strike from distance. Over Kennedy hits a crossbar. Topple Stanley collides with an advancing player. The referee says play on. That was Hatfield. He's slow to his feet.
Yeah, nice little pop shot there from Blake Archbold. It just left Ben Kennedy stranded, and now Weston are knocking on the door. Buswell in a good position to potentially put a delivery in. Elects not to.
Well, I did well just to close the space there and force his hand to go back. And Weston, he's got Kamara outside. Archbold slotted into the middle, plays out for Kamara. Those rotating positions for Weston. Starting to unlock some things, are they? Hurley prods forward. He's got another Archbold on the other side. That's Dom. Goes back to the captain. He'll cross it in. Looking at the back post for Archbold. Waller does well. Just gets enough of a touch on it just to force the throw and allow the Jaffas to reset.
Momentum maybe starting to shift, Chris.
It's taken them a little while to get rolling, Weston, but I was about to say they're looking in good rhythm, and as soon as I say it, the commentators curse. Mana Iwasaki has an air swing. Archie Finn just, again, really, he seems to have a clear directive to disrupt that pass between the centre-backs. Don't allow them to do that. Make them go all the way back to the keeper, and he's doing it with aplomb. Now we've got Hatfield. Archbold prods it in. Just floats that one up towards Kennedy. Kennedy much more confident and takes that with two hands. I don't think I've seen a look of concern on Ben Kennedy's face like I did just before when that ball hit the crossbar. I think he thought he was beaten.
Yeah, I think so as well, actually. He was definitely retreating back to goal. He had that lob-like effect. Just looked like it was just going to go straight over BK. I actually thought Blake may have made the wrong decision. He had Dylan Burston to his right, but elected to shoot and very close to making it 1-1.
Buswell plays this out, looking for Hatfield. Topple Stanley's there. He's pushed across from the left of defence. Share this with Kennedy. I think just that little bit of breeze probably just caught Kennedy unawares because it just held up in that a little. Whereas obviously if there was no wind, it would have just sailed probably a couple of inches over the crossbar. He's normally a really good judge of positioning, Kennedy, obviously all the experience he has. Again, another player, he's played at a handful of A-League clubs and has now become a fixture at the back of the Jaffas. Iwasaki roves downfield, takes the overlapping run. Burston ignores him, plays it in for Evans. Wins out against Waller. Spins away from Cahill. Pirouetting left, pirouetting right. He's everywhere on the move.
And Weston just enjoying a spell of possession at the moment.
Possession and territory going in their favour. Nice work there. Just effort push from Cahill. Gets that across the sideline. Breaks up the continuity. 29 minutes gone here at Bear Park. Rockwell Automation Park, if you will. The Jaffas leading 1-0 thanks to a stunning placement strike from that man who just won out, Matt Cahill. Bond on for Cahill. Cahill taps it out to his own advantage. Burston's got plenty of pace, so he'll track back and take that and return it to Roebuck. Roebuck's going to try and lure someone forward, is he? No, just decides to drive long. Looking for Buswell. Farling sniffing about. There's a name we've hardly said today. Hasn't had a lot of time on the ball, Burke Farling. He's actually playing quite high at different points. It looks like he and Buswell might be rotating in and out of the midfield and forward line, which is a different look for Weston.
Yeah, I agree. I did mention that earlier in the game. I think they do have the luxury of rolling in and out players, and I think we'll see that for the rest of the game. You know, Buswell's probably more traditionally a 6 or a 10, and for him to start up front, a little bit of a tussle there. Referee says nothing doing.
Hatfield and Topple Stanley again just renewing acquaintances. Burston tracking down. Again, just a rush shot. The rush of blood from Burston. Not the first time today we've seen that from him. Might be some better options. The referee just having a bit of a chat, and I'm going to take a bit of a guess, and he might be just asking Chris Hatfield to reconsider how he's communicating with him. Still just so impressed by this. The crowd numbers in here today, Butts, is wonderful. I mean, the sun's shining. Why wouldn't you want to be out here watching preliminary finals action? Standing room only at the southern end. People on the hill at the north. All the bleachers full here on the eastern side as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see. Like you said, it's a top day. Good day for football, good afternoon and good attendance.
The game so far has lived up to the hype and the attendance. Buswell, Archbold trying to turn on those afterburners. Griffiths tried to track him down, didn't quite get there in time. Hatfield plays the ball in. Buswell, yellow jerseys converge. McNaughton, another little touch out wide for Cahill. Thinks about going himself. Waller drives it forward. More of a clearance and a pass for attack. Roebuck skewed that off the outside of the right shin in the end. Worked out okay though. Ends justify the means. Both sides now just trying to utilise the full area of the pitch. Try and find some spaces, find some lanes. The Jaffas had the best of the first 20. You have to think Weston, probably the last 5 to 10 minutes, have had the better of it. What can they do here? Look at that aggression. Evans pushing all the way up to try and pressure Kennedy. Archbold wins out in an aerial battle. Farling throws himself into a battle with the birthday boy in Zanellen. Bond, tell you what, there's plenty of willing participants out there. As soon as I say that, Lockie Griffiths decides to give away a foul. That was very willing. A little bit of tempers flaring. Interesting. Farling, not someone who I've seen as being an aggressive player. And now we've got someone, I'm not sure who that is on the Lambton bench trying to take the ball away. The ball boy was rushing down just to... What's the world come to when we've got 2 grown men fighting over a football and there's a 7-year-old trying to act peacemaker?
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, good entertainment for everyone here, but again, well adjudicated, no cards needed. Weston with a good opportunity now through Farling to put a good delivery in. And I'd have to agree with what you said before. Things might be starting to change a little bit in terms of territory, possession. Who's just getting a grip on this game right now?
I was going to say, Iwasaki getting a good gap here at the back of this pack. Just watch him making a run into the box. Gets advantage side though. They drifted in. Nice header from Buswell from distance. Didn't get enough on it though to trouble Kennedy, but that's much more promising from the men in black and white.
Much better, and you know, wind it back a couple of minutes, you saw that intent in the press from Evans as well, and they're just starting to apply a bit more pressure now as we lead into this last 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so of this first half. Things might start to open up as well for both sides, just with fatigue creeping in.
Here we are seeing a few little missteps starting to happen. Top or Stanley. It's certainly a warm 20 degrees today, I'd say, so it'll be interesting to see how the tanks do go across, especially the dying stages of each half, and should we go further into the game than that. It'll very much come to management. Oh, we've got a yellow card. Burke Farling gone in the book. Still just obviously carrying a bit of a grievance from that challenge before, I think. And again, you need to just let things go sometimes. Not easily done, though. Over the throw. Bond with the throw, going in long. Looking for Finn. We're going to have a corner. Last touch coming off Hurley.
Yeah, great result there from a throw-in out wide.
It's a bit of a... Almost felt like, no disrespect to it, but it was a bit of a nothing throw. It just sort of lofted in there and a couple of bodies bumped together and they got a deflection. But you know, sometimes the lottery balls work.
Looks like Sam Denellen will be over this again on the far side.
And the birthday boy provide an assist. It's a better delivery. Got out to that and got above Archie Finn, did Roebuck. Not completely dealt with though. Finn taps it on top. Well, Stanley was there. I thought the veteran might have had a poke towards goal, but he just couldn't quite control his touch. Might not have heard the end of it if he scored the winner.
Yeah, half chance there. I think he didn't expect the ball to sit perfectly for him there. Pat Bond in the mix as well.
Finn just getting involved in everything.
He's a nuisance.
Best 35 minutes of the half a dozen games of Jaffas football I've called this year from Finn. He's been everywhere. He's been in everything. And he's giving it his everything. Waller, he's going to go the long throw, speaking of lottery balls. Gets it into the box. Iwasaki gets up to it. Finn's there again. Topple Stanley pushes forward. Hatfield thinks about challenging for it. Bond's there. McNaughton. Ranger, as he's affectionately known at the Jaffas. Topple Stanley again. Cahill. Archbold takes a hit up. Referee says I thought the referee was going to say play on.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
That was on par with the rugby league hit up we saw yesterday from the goalkeeper. No one's leaving anything out there. You're not going to die wondering, are you?
No, not at all. It's definitely gone up a notch over these last 10 minutes. Getting a little bit more physical, a little bit more chirpy. The crowd's getting involved as well, which is good to see.
I think the crowd, after we've seen that bit of momentum go towards Weston, it's given the Bears a bit of confidence as well. It's given their crowd a bit of spark, because that early goal did take a bit of wind out of the sails, but this game's well and truly alive. Bond's going to try and curl this one in for a header into the box. Beats everyone. Roebuck reads it like a book. Comes out and takes it on the chest. Just rolls out a little leg spinner coming out of the hand. Stuart McGill, Shane Warne-esque here at Rockwell Automation Park. We've got everything. Rugby league hit-ups, leg spin. What else do you want on a sunny, almost spring afternoon?
Well, we cover every code, don't we?
We're happy to try our hand at most things. Roebuck plays it forward to Hurley. Archibald. Two Archibalds here. That's always a warning sign when the two Archibalds end up on one side of the field. Weston like to roll them out at different points, and we tend to find something. They've got that almost sixth sense connection, the two brothers.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. They've been so influential for Western Bears this year.
I just love watching them play. The ball movement between the two of them, they're so quick, they're so deft with their touch. There's Finn, there he is again, winning out another one in that battle with Iwasaki. Now Farling, Denellen. Farling reads the bounce of the ball really well there. Bond turns up to help out. Farling gets past him. Denellen turns up to help.
And Farling has had a difficult time thus far this first half. He's been starved of possession, and the times he has had it, it's been really limited to what he can do with it.
Kennedy's pass just goes over the sideline. Heading to the final 7 or so minutes of this first half regulation time. See the fatigue starting to creep in with a few players here. Can't rest on your heels now. This is when the danger signs flash, when some of those nippy players will take advantage. There's plenty of them on both sides.
It's an opportunity now with an early release out to Dom Archibald.
Saki just held it up a little longer than might have been ideal. There's Blake Archibald, spun out of that one, nothing in that, is there? Playing advantage, just enough to be a foul. Dom Archibald coming to the defence of his brother there. I think the referee's got that, so again, played some advantage.
Again, Archie Finn in amongst it all, just ruffling some feathers.
Take it quickly. Archibald prods it out for his brother. Chips it over. Top of Stanley's up there, and Kennedy's out. Manages to recover and get back to his line. Waller. Not sure that was quite a conventional clearance by Joey Langlois, but it worked. That pass from Archibald is picked off, and Cahill's got a few steps on Evans, but Evans tracks back and gets the ball from the outside. Cahill not happy because he feels he was collected before the ball. Referee right on the spot though. Archibald. Waller takes it away. You can see just those missteps I was talking about. Chipped out in front, looking for Cahill, but Kamara's there. A few steps too quick. Starting to see those undercooked passes and other things that come with a little bit of fatigue. And Hurley. Archibald does well just to keep that inside the line. That's beautiful control and poise. Lays it off now. Buswell, who's slotted back deep. Talk about them rolling through those positions. Rolling back into midfield now. He'll push his way forward. Actually looks like Buswell's pushed out. Well, left of attack. Top of Stanley racing forward for that one.
No, you meant that.
Yeah, just like he meant that strike from halfway at McDonald Jones Stadium. What feels like it's probably getting close to a decade ago. I don't want to say exactly how long it was because we don't want to age him too much.
No, he's that good. He fooled us all.
Yeah, he's probably still got another decade in him, top or the way he's playing. Archie Finn. He didn't win that one with Iwasaki. It was like he hit a brick wall. Roebuck off his line, but had the angles covered.
Archie Finn will stay down at the moment.
I'll take a breather. I think he might have just got the wind knocked out. I don't even know it was an intentional collision. He just turned and Iwasaki was there and planted. Hit Iwasaki and Iwasaki ran off. Yeah, we're gonna need a trainer for Archie Finn. I tell you what, He's probably feeling it. He's got through a lot of work in this first half. Very busy for a guy who normally plays as that standout striker.
Yeah, I agree. He's done a mountain of work today up front. To try and control two boys and two of, arguably our best centre-backs in the competition, especially this season as well. Hurls and Iwasaki, he's done a tremendous job. And whether he is injured or he's just taken a bit of a break, he's deserved it nonetheless.
Like I said, I think it might have just knocked a little bit of wind out of him.
It just gives the opportunity for both clubs to just, sort themselves out again, regroup, and then try and take on this last couple of minutes before we get additional time as well. And these are the crucial minutes of any game.
He's fine. He wants to get straight back on, does Archie Finn. And back to the full complement both sides. And someone strike a late blow here in the first half. Into the final. Just over 3 minutes of regulation time. And then the fourth official will let us know how much more will continue for. The Sunbathed Rockwell Automation Park, the Northern New South Wales NPL men's preliminary final. Coming to you live and free on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube as Chris Hurley puts up the up and under. Tom Waller, not quite by design there. Body's getting thrown in. Cahill lofted that wide. Griffiths got a touch. Goo got a touch as well, but I think he might have done so with his hand. And he and Burke Farling. Burke Farling wearing his heart on his sleeve a little more than usual today.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's been quite emotional so far.
Warming up while the temperature, Burke. Early back to Roebuck. Iwasaki. There's been some wonderful battles in this first half. That Iwasaki-Finn battle is just keeping me on the edge of my seat at the moment. It's been great the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's been great, and probably some of the plays I didn't expect to be in the battles as well. Let's see how this one unfolds.
Nice ball forward, just a little heavy as Topple Stanley sends it back. There's Iwasaki again and comes over the back of Finn and collects the back of Finn's head. Hopefully he's okay.
He'll stay down at the moment, but just as I was saying, Chris, I think the battles that I was looking forward to were maybe the Joey Langlois, Pat Bond up against, Evans and Buswell, and they've actually been, all four of them, pretty quiet this game. Not for any reason, but yeah, it's been very crowded in the middle. So a lot of the ball has been going out wide, and we have been seeing those battles in those wide areas. Matty Cahill getting involved, Archie Finn. I've liked what I've seen with Hatfield.
It's a little bit of confusion here. Iwasaki decided he didn't want the treatment because he'd already asked for it because it was a head knock. The referee says, no, you've got to go to the sideline. He tried to wave it away, and unfortunately, once those physios are on there for treatment, then that's how it works, and especially with a head knock, we can't take those lightly in our game. And the physios, I think, were a little bit confused about what was happening because they were coming to see him as Topple Stanley wins that out. That's been a good battle too. Topple Stanley versus Hatfield, one of the most experienced defenders against one of the most dangerous attackers in our league.
Yeah, for sure. He's been prolific this year, Hatfield, and he's probably been one of their best today as well. Limited to opportunities, but he's been in everything that Weston have offered moving forward.
It's also not an easy matchup to take on Topple Stanley. This one's a nice one out in front for Buswell. Plays it wide for Archibald, but Griffiths just comes across, tracks back across and sees it across the sideline as we trickle down to the remaining moments of regulation time. Our fourth official will have the board up momentarily for us. This will be a few minutes. We've had a couple of stoppages with some knocks and bumps and bruises. Iwasaki drives that up and forward. And here's that battle again, Topple Stanley and Hatfield. I think the two battles at either end have been certainly the most lively. Cahill with a little nudge. Just 3 minutes of added time to be played.
Massive effort there from Matty Cahill. Looks like the ball was just going to trickle out. He didn't give up on it, and he's earned his side a throw-in, which Tommy will put in the mixer to Finn.
Iwasaki takes that one, though. Almost looked like Hurley then headed away. He put everything behind that, did the captain. Almost looked like an AFL pack mark that Iwasaki was trying to take there. He got up and about.
Yeah, again, just off the back of, an extra effort from Matty Cahill, they've got an opportunity now to extend that lead through a set piece. Again, the birthday boy.
It is. It's amazing. It's not that you ever doubt at this level what it means, but you can just see the extra efforts, those guys putting their bodies on the line repeatedly. big efforts from guys, Hurley, Finn, these guys are just pretty much all the 22 players are putting in, season best efforts in this first half. It's been huge. It's been a great 45 minutes of football. The Jaffas try to find a late blow. Denellen curls this in, punched away. I thought for a moment we might have had an Olympico coming. That was well placed by the birthday boy. That'd be a way to celebrate. Headed off the back of the head by Cahill. Evans drives it forward. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't hear the end of that if you scored an Olympico in a final on your birthday. Imagine that. I'd probably retire at that point, I think. I don't know that things are getting much better unless you back it up with a grand final win next week, then hang them up. This one again, poked across the face of goal. No runners there for the Jaffas, though. Minute and a half gone of added time. Weston will just try and play this out of their half, but Topple Stanley comes forward. I think he was thinking that was coming to his head at first, ended up at the top of the thigh. Not something that you'll find in too many footballing textbooks, but you've got legs the size of Topples, it works pretty well. Langlois now. Again, you touched on it before, the central midfielders have been quiet. A lot of ball working around rather than through for both sides. Cahill up against Burson. A little bit of miscommunication. Works out okay between Iwasaki and Burson. Waller. Foul called on Archie Finn. This time he threw himself into Burston.
Ben Kennedy not too happy with giving a foul in that area, but well defended from the boys in black and white. They have a chance now, maybe with just under a minute to go. They can do a late push.
Last salvo. Hurley, one of those lofted balls that he's renowned for. Just half a step short of fouling. It was intercepted by Denellen. Now Cahill up against Iwasaki. Iwasaki just wrangles him to ground and gives away a free kick, and this could be the last say of the half.
It's definitely one thing that I've noticed is the Jaffas are definitely frustrating Weston. A lot of individuals just crashing out a little bit. Not really keeping their composure. We've seen it with Burke fouling earlier. Iwasaki showing his frustration with that one. Just gives him half a sniff now through Pat Bond. We know he's good on a dead ball.
You know Bondi well, mate. Goals or assists here? What's the mindset? Percentage, is it 90% goals, 10% assists? Is that what he's thinking as he's getting up there looking at how everyone sets up?
Oh yeah, I mean there's no doubt he can shoot from long range, but I think he's going to play percentage here and try and find Topper.
He does loft it in, trying to find Topper at the back post, just in between he and Roebuck came out and took it well. And our referee says that will do us, and Lambton Jaffas, I think they can take a bow. They'll claim first half credits. They've taken...
Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good. Yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good.
Welcome back to Rockwell Automation Park for the second half of the 2025 Northern New South Wales NPL preliminary final. At the break, it is the Lambton Jaffas, the visitors, leading 1-0. And it was a beautiful clip. Will it be Weston to strike back here and level things up? Chris McPherson alongside Matthew Butner, bringing you all of the action. And Butts, this one is on a knife's edge. It's going to be interesting to see which coach's words will have the most impact.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. And what a first 45 minutes we got spoilt to, and it's going to make for a really exciting second half now. I'd like to see a good response from Western Bears because the Jaffas were impressive in the first 45. And like he said, that strike from Matty Cahill just caught everyone off guard here, I think, just guided into that far corner off the back of Archie Finn's high pressure. So, yeah, it makes for a good second half here. The first 10 minutes are crucial to see who comes out on top.
I'll tell you what, the first 45 seconds I've seen Connor Evans slide into one challenge and throw his body into another already. So Weston are really up for this. Speaking of really up for it, Archie Finn's doing 100-metre sprints, length of the field here. Not something he's renowned for. Ben Kennedy's right at the edge of his 18-yard box. Had to go outside with the header. Denellen. I tell you what, it's end-to-end football to start the second half. And if that's not setting the tone for what's to come over the next 45 minutes, I don't know what is. This means a lot. A ticket to the grand final on the line. They both know that.
That's right.
Someone's going home after this afternoon's fixture.
That is right. Yeah, perfect visual there, back and forth. And again, I just mentioned the work rate of Archie Finn. He probably knows he's got 60, 70 minutes in this game. Then they'll look to draw out from the bench, but he's really set the tone as well as Burke Farling as well.
Yeah, certainly when you've got a Carter Smith on the bench, you'll look to bring him in at some point for some impact. But you know what, Finn's done a wonderful job. I love just then, we've got the ball boys down in front of us, grabbing the Western coat of arms on their chest and waving it at us, Butts. No doubts as to where their loyalties lie here at Bear Park. They're doing a great job, the ball boys down here. Some of the Western juniors. Nice little back pass there. The referee nearly got a touch. Iwasaki to Hurley. Hurley drives it through to Kamara. Kamara under pressure from Bond. Can't find an advancing route, so goes back. Archbold lofts it forward. Hatfield's got a step on Denellen. Kamara. Hatfield overlapping. Prods it in. Clubbed forward by Langlois. Archie Finn working, trying to put the pressure on Iwasaki. They'll resume their hostilities now for the second half. Here's Evans playing it through into the box. Just the top, Farling, he'll take a strike. Just outside the post. Watchful at that post was Kennedy, but he had it covered.
Yeah, wicked shot there, and I thought that was for all money going side netting. BK looked like he definitely knew otherwise. Didn't flinch, but it was really good play from Western Bears. Started on the right side there, Blake Archbold into Evans. We just ripped the wicked ball out to Farling, and that's the best we've seen from Western so far. Great opportunity.
Been really impressed with the first few minutes here from Evans. He's looking to get busy and involved. I think he, like Finn, will know that there's probably a rotation coming for him at some point, so he's going to absolutely empty the tank out, which is what you want to see. The last thing you want to be doing is sitting back at home or at the sponsors this afternoon, thinking about what more you could have done and what you did leave out there. So these players won't die wondering, as we said earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And I think both coaches have got the luxury of the talent on the bench to dispose of. So how will that play a factor in this game and how the rest of this second half plays out? And again, that's just a bit of fiery exchanges there from Joey Langlois and Dylan Burston.
Plenty of hearts on sleeves. I'm just looking at the two benches. I'll tell you what, if you put together an 11 from the two benches, that'd be a pretty impressive team in itself when you start having a look at some of these names, you know. You've got young Kalen Law, you've got Carter Smith, we talked about before, Riley Taylor, Brock Beveridge, Aaron Ninkuru. Like, these players, even, you know, young Jack Pandell and George Stevens, two very handy keepers on the bench who, you know, barring an anomaly, won't see any time today. So, yeah, it's wonderful representation of how strong this competition is at the moment. And we're being treated to it on the pitch. There's our ball boys getting involved, bringing the ball out for us. One was lost into the construction site. Someone's had to go in, and I'm sure they donned their safety equipment and all those things.
First grade. No, I knew what you were going to say though. Explain it. I knew you were going to say like that. Think of it first grade, like say they left weekend. I don't even realise you were there.
Apologies there, a little technical difficulties, but we're back on air. With a pressed, continued attack from Weston. They're trying to turn the screws here to find the equaliser, Buttes. I was a bit concerned there that we weren't going to get to call the equaliser, but the staff here at Weston have absolutely sorted us out after a little bit of a generator trouble. So thank you to the crew at the Bears getting us back online.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that was a really positive wave from Western Bears, probably some of their best chances of the game. So thank God they didn't equalise there. That would have been a little bit disappointing, but
probably for you and me. But the good news is the camera's still rolling.
That's right.
But again, 9 minutes of this second half gone, and Weston are having a crack. But now Lambton go back the other way. Griffiths up against Archibald. Archibald tried to leap into that early, just with a little touch, and we're going to have a corner at the opposite end.
Yeah,
corner-a-thon.
That's a good result from Lambton Jaffas there. Looked like nothing was doing. Griffo just in a good space down the right flank. Probably left it a little bit too late, and Hurls was just forced to touch it. Put it out for a corner, and again, plenty of corners to start the second half, Chris.
So Sam Donnellan's nearly had as many corners as he'll have candles on his cake tonight. Lofts this one in, curls it away from the goals. Topper Stanley gets a touch. Archibald drives it long and wide. Hatfield v Waller. Waller gives him a nudge, almost ends up in the construction site. The referee waves it away, says that's fine. We'll have a throw in. Tempers just starting to rise to the surface. I won't say they're boiling yet.
No, not quite, but it's definitely starting to heat up here at Bears Park.
Oh, a few little nudges. Referee letting it bit go. I think if he stomped on everything, we wouldn't get much of a game of football developing at the moment, the way it's being played. Certainly feisty. Norton goes long. Griffiths plays it into the leg, gets a friendly bounce from Archibald, fires it, but it slices wide of the goals and trickles away unthreateningly for a goal kick. Farling, nice little chip on. Hatfield, Topper Stanley. Topper Stanley just angles his body away, blocks the run. Hatfield getting frustrated, you can see.
A couple of boys from Weston just getting ready from the substitutes. No movement. Oh, I lie. There is movement from the Jaffas bench. It looks like Riley Taylor's getting ready.
As soon as you say that, Taylor priming. Interesting to see where he'll get deployed. Ball out in front of Cahill. Almost tracked it for them. Nice little touch there, Burston. With a goal scoring Cahill, it might be the change. See, Taylor can deploy in a few different spots on the pitch, we know. Hurley now will come wide, Archibald. Interesting to see either side going to the bench before the 60-minute mark. You wouldn't call that traditional, as Donnellan does well just to get up and head that away. We will come for the change. Let's have a look at that board. And Archie Finn, solid Almost 60 minutes from Finn. One of his best efforts of the season, and rousing applause from the Jaffas fans. I love what they've seen from Archie today.
Yeah, really good stint from Archie Finn. I'd have to agree, one of his best performances. Now Riley Taylor with an opportunity to inject himself into this final.
See Cahill head to the front of attack here. It's like the case. Free just says just come back, and Tom Archibald arguing the case, and the referee Chris Hatfield decided to get involved as well and gets his name into the book, which is probably not the wisest of choices. But anyway, good news is, as long as he doesn't get another one, it's not going to go too far outside of if he gets the next week and gets a yellow card.
Yeah, that's right.
Tom Archibald will be cautious. He's already got one this final series. He won't want to get a second one because that would mean that he sits out next week. Once the yellow card tallies reset at the start of the final series for players, and 2 yellow cards accounts to an automatic suspension. So it's a fine line you tread if you're carrying one. There's a few of the Jaffas boys on a card as well. Seeing, I think, the 2 cards so far today.
.58 minutes played now, Chris, and you'd expect this response coming out of the sheds from Western Bears. They have been positive. They've been knocking on the door a little bit. The Jaffas have weathered the storm. Now the game just seems to be on a knife's edge again, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, despite the 1-goal lead, Lambton are far from comfortable at this point. Weston have shown their willingness to push forward and haven't looked far away a couple of times there on that sustained pressure earlier in this half. Inches away a couple of times. Archie Finn got up at one point there at the back post to save what looked like it could have been a potential goal. Great effort there. Can't be controlled inside the sideline though. Involved early, Taylor. I'll live up to that banner billing that he's got down the back there, Butts.
Yeah, he's got plenty of people supporting him.
Ball spilled out here. Not quite cleared. Iwasaki does enough though.
Oh my God.
I wonder if Banner Iwasaki, that's unconventional from Topple Stanley off the back of that. I wonder if Banner Iwasaki was happy to see the back of Archie Finn. Been a bit of a nuisance for the centre back earlier today.
Yeah, I agree. Again, a good battle. Both of them going hammer and tong today, and that was, if you are just tuning in now, how the goal did come about. It was off the back of Archie Finn pressing Iwasaki early in this first half.
Griffiths just had that. Roebuck will watch this across the line. And yeah, I feel like it'd be bittersweet. And again, Butch, you can probably talk to this as someone who's spent a lot of your time in the back line. When you have such a great battle, and that was a really strong, top-tier battle early in this game, it'd be a little bit bittersweet, I suppose, when you see them subbed off. Because, one, you'd be enjoying the battle, but two, you're probably happy just to have a moment to breathe and drive yourself back into the game. You can see Archibald come back and prodded it into the 18-yard box. It spills out for Farley. Denellen, last touch, and no, didn't touch it before it went across the line. So we're going to have a goal kick. Is there a little bit of bittersweet to it sometimes? Like you're just enjoying the battle as much as it's challenging you?
Yeah, of course. As a fullback, you're always coming up against wingers, and they tend to be, they're more crafty players. So, yeah, you got to enjoy the battle. In more cases than not, if they get substituted, you usually think that you've done a good job. So, yeah, look, it was great to see today.
And treated it cracking battles, a number of them, but most notably the ones at either end. That one between Finn and Iwasaki, and then the other end, Hatfield and Topple Stanley, have been great today. And there's plenty more developing out there as we head beyond the 60-minute mark of this one. Riley Taylor injecting himself in the first of the changes. Joey Langlois now. He's trying to manoeuvre around and turn away from Archibald. Topple Stanley returns it to Langlois. That one was misdirected and Langlois ended up on the turf, but we're going to go back for the contact. Evans, a little irate.
Yeah, Joey maybe just got away with that one. Enough contact, says the referee. And I think one thing that I've been impressed with both sides this season, but also at this time of the season, is they're both confident to play their own football, still play out. It's a great ball from BK out to Riley Taylor.
Taylor, nice control, flicks it in, looking for Goo, just overcooks it a touch. Pat Bond comes through. exactly clinical, but it pushes forward nonetheless. The clearance isn't quite what they want. Denellen takes it out over Farling. That's a good battle. Denellen turns away now. Farling's going to come again. I thought Farling was going to see red the way he's lining up there. Lockie Griffiths.
Yeah, just touching back on that, Chris, though, I think it's proof as well, the respect that both of these sides have, because they haven't been pressing each other today. I know the heat's going to play a factor in that, but both respect each other on the ball and playing out. There's no doubt about that.
I think there's a combination of that tactic as well as both wanting to silence some very attacking-minded and skillful midfield, which has worked really well with the way they both set up their blocks and force each other to go round on a wide pitch. And that's why we haven't probably seen as much of a Joey Langlois or a Jordan Gu, even a Pat Bond, and then on the other side, the Burke Farlings and Musa Kamaras.
Yeah, of course. But what tends to be the case a lot as well is they're doing all of the clean-up work. And I've been noticing right there, Joey Langlois as well. He's had not the greatest contributions in terms of time on the ball and passing completion today. In fact, he's probably been starved of possession as well as most of the midfielders, but his clean-up play has been unbelievable, as we just saw there, and it's those hard works and those effort areas that I think is going to go a long way to seeing who's going to win this game.
100%. I think it'd be easy just to throw your hands in the air and resign and say, oh, well, their block's negating me, but there's other roles to play, as you say, and, you know, St. Evans, Kamara, dropping back, filling in, you know, breaking down those attacks and making it challenging. As we see Hatfield racing, McNaughton, Kennedy comes out. Chris Hatfield needs to be a little cautious. He got a yellow card for dissent before. I don't want to give away anything here.
Again, Weston look to go long. Bit of a tennis match being played at the moment. Both sides still just trying to feel each other out.
Certainly are. Farling goes forward, gets a little touch from ball forward. Hatfield takes a stride. Maybe could have settled and taken it off his right. Might have been the better option, but hindsight's a wonderful thing.
A little bit unfortunate. I think Hatfield would want that one back. I've no doubt he'd be disappointed in that, but again, Western Bears just working something out of nothing. Burke Farley involved as well. Dropped nicely to Hatfield on his left foot. Just sprayed wide and high.
Certainly did, but more promising from Weston. They've created some opportunities. At some point, if they keep allowing them to create and get forward, Lambton, they will make them pay. Because if you're just tuning in, to the action here at Rockwell Automation Park, we had the reserve grade preliminary final earlier today. The Cooks Hill United eliminated the minor premiers Newcastle Olympic. Olympic lost last week to Maitland. So Maitland will play Cooks Hill in the grand final in reserve grade. And of course, Broadmeadow Magic already through in the men's first grade. And the winner of this match will play that game at the moment. It's probably fair to say that Lambton have got 3 toes into the grand final, but I wouldn't go much further than that. There's plenty of turns left in this with 25 minutes to play. Utes might think it's 4 with his one Lambton eye there, I'm not sure. Certainly still there for the taking, this one, as Hurley plays it on. Archibald, a artistic flick back over his head, but it's just going to be watched over the sideline by Denellen. Now we're going to see a double change from the Bears. So coming from the field, Mana Iwasaki did a great job, as we said, in that battle. He'll be replaced by Aaron Niankuru. Connor Evans will be replaced by Brock Beveridge. So you'd think there'll be a bit of a reshuffle here. I think Beveridge will go to the front of attack. Probably means that Burston will slot back in. Buswell will drop into the midfield a bit more as well.
Yeah, definitely 2 attacking players coming on the Q Allen side. 2 players that have featured well this year for Western Bears and pose a threat.
Just love watching, we called the Valentine side yesterday, and we had Shuku Sunzu come on. Aaron Niankuru is one of those other players. He's just so agile, so dynamic, so explosive. He's the perfect player to bring on at this stage of a game against tiring legs in the heat. It's just a bit of the wild card, I think, for the best way of putting it, the things he can do. Excitement machine, Niankuru, if he gets going here. So we'll see how he can inject himself into the game. Nice turn there, Jordan Gu. Working away from both Farling and Buswell. Lofted in, shot taken just over the crossbar. Gerald Roebuck, very casual trotting back there. I don't think he realised how close that Lockie Griffiths had struck that.
Yeah, that wasn't too far off, to be honest. The crowd definitely thought so as well. Joey Langlois, I think it was,
So
just on the left foot.
Langlois, my apologies.
Yeah,
I don't know who's going to feel worse about me getting those two mixed up, whether it's Lockie or Joey, but I'll let them fight it out later.
yeah, a bit of a pop shot there. Nothing doing, and it wasn't a solid strike. It was kind of just that backspin, similar to what we saw in the first half.
So we saw similar in the first half, and both times the keepers just kind of get caught napping, and neither of them far away. Here's Dom Archibald now, back to his captain in Hurley. Okay, looks like Weston playing centre-back now for Iwasaki. Ben Kennedy comes out, gets it with the instep of the right boot. Archibald brings it down. Kamara. Yes, they're really well controlled with the chest, but they're just the touch off the knee a little harder.
Yeah, just got away from him there, but just looking at how Weston are setting up now with those substitutions, is getting closer to the 70th minute mark, and it only leaves us with a little bit of time. You'd have to imagine Gil Burston and Hurling will be looking for those long diags, potentially into wide areas, trying to get those boys involved. Sending a couple more players forward.
This ball there from Langlois. I thought he'd absolutely kick the cover off it at first. You forget how wide this pitch is. Top ball, Stanley goes forward looking for Taylor. I think it might be on the other side for Tancheski. It might be a bit of a waiting game just to see before he makes any other changes, just to monitor things. And their defence is doing a good job at the moment. Speaking of Riley McNaughton turning players inside out. Beveridge pushing forward, trying to put the pressure on. They're trying to set Cahill free. Archibald heads it back. Roebuck's going to have to come out to it. Thought he's going to try and set Niankuru free there. Side's better of it. Pulls up. He'll use the right boot to drive it long.
It's 4-on-4 at the back here, Lambton versus the front four from Weston, and just as I said, they're going to start sending more boys forward. They definitely have plenty of attacking threats. Buswell sitting just behind them as well.
So I think Archibald, Blake Archibald and Aaron Niankuru will be given licences to run here. And then, yeah, as you say, Buswell will come through. Attacking midfield role. Almost playing with 4 defenders, 1 midfielder and 5 attackers at times here. So it's kind of a 4-2-4 they've gone to at the moment.
Again, you talked about the width of the field. It just looked for all money that was going to go out, but play on the far side.
So they're almost playing in the construction side at the moment over there. They're that far away.
Still stays in.
Mara's there, plays it forward. Nice ball for Buswell. Lofts it out, looking for Niankuru's pace. He gets to the ball first. They run him a wide, though. Well defended. Denellen pushed in. Beveridge is there. Gets a boot to it over the crossbar. That was almost inch perfect in terms of the floated ball across. Beveridge just couldn't keep it down, but they got the better of the Lambton defence there.
Yeah, so close for an equaliser for Western Bears. Great work on the far side from Niankuru. It was probably his first proper introduction to this game, and he done well to get on the outside of Sam Denellen, who had to come across and retreat, and just hung that ball up perfectly in the back stick. Got away from Riley McNaughton and was not far off from that equaliser, like I said.
Pace of Niankuru there, just had the defence at 6s and 7s, but Denellen, as you say, did well just to run him a little bit wider and force him out there so that he wasn't as comfortable getting that cross in, but he still did so well with it, Niankuru, that touch. Farling nice here, he's got Archibald wide, he uses him. Will he take a strike or will he pull back? He takes a strike. Kennedy gets a hand to it. He was out of his line, closed down the space, and just parried it with that big left mitt over the byline.
Yeah, wow. They're knocking on the door now. Western Bears, they've got a good opportunity from a set piece. I think Blake Archibald thought he had the goal there for sure. BK showing all of his experience and class to get that big left mid up and deny Blake Archibald.
Oh, dinner plates, they're hard to get past those. They're huge hands from BK. Look, Farling over the corner now. Blake Archibald sitting deep. He'll try and sweep in for the crumbs. Hurley at the back as well. Buswell at the front. They go short looking for Buswell. He's blocked off. Good tracking back for Jaffas, but here's Archibald now. Takes a strike. Was that in the face for Lockie Griffiths? Either way, he'll be happy he stopped it. He'll use any part of his anatomy he can. And now, Matt Cahill. He's got 3 goals in the last week and a half. He's not going to get another one here. Musa Kamara, absolute lightning coming back. And Roebuck almost sends this into orbit.
Yeah, great defensive work there from Kamara. Looked like Matt Cahill had all that free rein on the far side and was denied pretty quickly.
Just said he got 2 last week. He'd love a second this week because it'd go a long way to securing a Jaffas Magic Grand Final. But the Bears, they've got plenty to say about it. Niankuru deflects wide, and here he is, the birthday boy, Sam Donnellan. I'm getting so excited, I'm losing my words. That's going to be a card, surely. Joey Langlois. I caught that card side on. I thought it was a different colour. I was like, oh my goodness. But it's just yellow. Now there's a bit of push and shove. Riley McNaughton making a nuisance of himself. He's a long way forward. What's he doing all the way up there?
Yeah, I think he was just trying to hold that birthday ball that you were talking about. Things are starting to heat up now, definitely. It's just going to another level. And I think, you know, everyone's starting to realise the stakes of this game. Again, it is a ticket to the grand final next week against the champions, Broadmeadows. So that move from Q Allens to bring those 2 boys on is starting to pay dividends at the moment, and they want a result out of it now.
And Niankuru floating very wide here on the left. He'll be out of his shot. They've got numbers lining up. Niankuru's probably going to try and sneak in behind Sam Donnellan here. Donnellan's going to have to be alert and awake to him. Buswell creeping through. They're appealing for offside. Falls for Archbold. Takes a volley. Over the bar again. What a first touch volley. It wasn't far away.
Wow. Some strike there from Archbold. And again, BK just left stranded standing there just over the top of the crossbar. And my goodness. They're getting closer and closer, Chris.
They are knocking on the door, the Weston Bears. They are not going away without a fight here. 17 minutes remain of regulation time. In the preliminary final, a ticket to the grand final at Darling Street Oval next weekend on the line here. Win, you head to the big dance. Lose, season over. It's a simple equation here across the last 17 minutes of regulation time. Hurley gets up to it. Bond gets up to it. Cahill gets up to it. Good chips it forward. Archbald. Musa Kamara. Langlois decides he might try and control it rather than keeping the volleys going. Tom Waller puts on the afterburners, gets to the outside, lofts it into the box, and there's Chris Hurley.
Crucial intervention there from the captain. Again, now Weston, can they enjoy a spell of possession? Things are just starting to open up now, Chris. The field's starting to look even bigger than what it was at the start of the game.
Another heavy challenge on Burke Farley. He keeps his temper under control a bit better this time. I'll take the foul. I'll tell you what, Joey Langlois wore that one in the back. Lockie Griffiths wore one in the face before. Lambton will use absolutely everything they've got to block these balls going forward. Hurley, going to try and set things up. He can't. He goes to Robar.
And 5 up front almost for Western Bears.
They do. They almost had 6 up front. Chris Hatfield was in that line as well. Blink and you'll see Jerry Roebuck playing striker in a moment. Here goes Hatfield now. He's got the overlap with Archbold outside. Goes himself, plays it into the box. Kennedy out to it. The experience there. Casual as you like.
You feel like it's coming though, Chris.
They're playing 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 6 up front. What's going on here at Weston? They're throwing absolutely everything, including the kitchen sink at the Jaffas.
Well, it has to be, right, Chris? It has to be all or nothing. Like you said, you win this game, you go to the big dance. If you don't, season over.
Now I'd be sitting there asking, what if we had have done something? What if we had have sent more forward? Here they go now, Niankuru versus Donnellan. Donnellan's got to be cautious here. Niankuru comes away, plays it out to Farling. Farling cuts back across the grain. Here's Buswell now. Holding it up, holding it up. Hurley pushes forward. Got 9 players in front of the ball in the attacking half, and Chris Hatfield has an air swing. McNaughton just trying to shepherd it. Kennedy comes out. McNaughton appealing for a foul, but I think he probably had that coming, and he's got some feedback from the Western fans at the southern end there. That won't faze him.
Nah, not at all. He's heard it all before. And well defended, professional, and Buswell just with a little love tap from behind. Try to go the other end now.
Here we go, Musa Kamara. He's another one that, if he can just find his best for a split second, it could turn this game on its head. Farling. So many players that have just got those magic moments in them out there. Can Weston get one of them to click? Niankuru, how did he control that? He pushed it over the crossbar.
Oh, wow.
Little deflection from Kennedy. Donnellan's down, cramping.
That's a massive save, Chris.
There was some appeals from Lambton. They thought that Niankuru would use his arm to control it.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sam Donnellan down at the moment with cramps.
Is it cramps? Is it gamesmanship? Who knows from the birthday boy? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I tell you what, he looks distraught. Yeah. That's very generous of Blake Archbold to try and help him stretch out. I like that. Nice bit of sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's good. You expect that. Archbold's a good man off the pitch as well. Yeah, wow. Looking back at that chance, my goodness. Just got enough on it, Burke Farling, to get over the top of Sam Donnellan, and it was just clear one-on-one, sit up perfectly for almost a half volley for Niankuru. And, well, if there's any man in between the sticks that you want for one of those opportunities to deny it, it is BK. And he stood up once again, and he has all year for Lambton Jaffas. And, my goodness, they are getting closer and closer, Western Bears.
Showing every bit of his 159 games of A-League experience at the Jets and the Mariners was Kennedy. See what he was talking earlier in the year about his calves, and he didn't know how much longer they had left in him. I tell you what, he's looking pretty explosive out there today, the big man between the sticks. A couple of big saves in this second half to keep his side in front. You feel that he might need a couple more across the last 12.5 minutes of regulation time here. Farling, left hand aloft, curls it in dangerously. Hurley almost meets it. It comes back for Farling. What can he do here? One-on-one, gets the edge of the box, crosses it in. Topple Stanley's there. Taylor lobs it long. Roebuck's well out of his box. He's pushing up. He wants a piece of being an attacker too. He heads towards halfway. Drives it long and wide. Looking for Beveridge. Not often you see that. It's taken on the full from one keeper to the other.
Keeper to keeper.
A little bit of forcey backs between the two men with number one on their back.
That's right. See if BK returns serve.
Donnellan's back. After a little bit of treatment, he's good to go.
It's just this sustained pressure from Western Bears. Fatigue kicking in. We know Sam Donnellan's hurting at the moment. It looks like it was cramping. Substitutes getting ready. Looks like Oscar Krakenthorpe for the Lambton Jaffas, just to try and slow things down. Dave Tanjewski trying to give his side.
Going to go to the change, and interesting. Not what I was expecting there. Goo will come off. Hasn't had a huge level of involvement, but again, rapturous applause for the young man from the Lambton Jaffas fans. He's done what's been asked of him. We talked about the midfield being neutralised on both sides, but they've stepped in key moments, all the midfielders on both teams. And Goo's done everything that's asked of him, and now the man that's known as Crackers, Oscar Krakenthorpe, comes in, and the fresh legs trying to tighten things up and help steer his team towards a 9-game undefeated run and a spot in the big dance next week at Darling Street. Lofted forward here. Waller's back there, gets a good header on it. Langlois heads it again. Kamara gets a little clip on the way, and Krakenthorpe making a statement straight in, comes in. Farley moving it quickly though, not mucking about. Gets it over Waller, he gets a touch on it. Hatfield controls it out wide. A couple of players in the box, he's going to try and out-fox Tommy Waller here. Taylor comes to help. Drop it back into the pocket now. It's lofted into the box, dangerously to the back post, and Donnellan calm, just if in doubt, kick it out, take the corner.
Right. That is right. Wicked ball there. I think that was Dill Burson from the wide area, and again, another corner, starting to tighten the screws. We said it before, and it's only 10 minutes to play now.
Time running out. Enough, certainly, for them to grab an equaliser, if not a little more, Weston, but you feel like now is the time to strike. Farling curls it up high, deep into the box, comes the ground, appeals both sides. Assistant referee clear in his decision, points to the goals. It'll be a goal kick. Lambton see off another raid. Heart rate monitor. Imagine the heart rate monitors, the Fitbits and the Apple Watches. They'll be going off on both sides here. The fans on the edges of their seat.
Mine's through the roof, Chris, to be honest. This is
Mine's
exciting
through the roof
football.
and I'm a neutral. I know you've got a bit of a foot in one camp here, and you're doing your best to remain neutral on the call, and you're doing a wonderful job as always. But yeah, there's again, you just hear it every time after a raid. There's that lull, and then the crowd start building again. It gets the fever pitch as each team attacks. Nice little ball there, Taylor. Cahill takes a strike from distance, well off the mark. But who can blame him? He's got 3 goals in the last 2 games. He knows how to score in finals football, does Matty Cahill.
Yeah, he does. I think he would like that one back, but again, is that fatigue creeping me in? I think it is, Chris. But again, that's where Western Bears got to be careful, right? The numbers they're sending forward is going to leave opportunity in those wide areas outside of Dill Burston and Chris Hurley. If they get exposed, they could be left with only the keeper there.
It's one of those challenging ones, though, isn't it? If you don't ask the question of the defence at the other end, is it, it's no better losing 1-0 than it is 2 or 3. And chancing your hand, I suppose. And here's Niankuru now. Takes the throw back to Archbold. This game has absolutely lived up to the billing of preliminary finals football, of course. If you haven't had enough with this one, we're going to have another game after this from Cook Square Park, the women's preliminary final, and it's going to be just as mouth-watering as Maitland look to make it into their first grand final. I think the last 2 years they've been knocked out at this stage. They went down to the last round and missed out on the premiership after Charlestown beat them late in regulation time. And they went to penalty shootout last week, so they're knocking on the door of a grand final this year. And they'll take on Newcastle Olympic. That one's going to be a cracker from 4:30. Still more twists and turns in this one. Into the last 8 minutes of regulation time. Here at a sunbathed Rockwell Automation Park, the Jaffas will have a throw. It'll be Tom Waller. He just wanders down the sideline, picks up an extra 10 or 15 metres, uses up a few more seconds. Now the ball bounces forward. Ryan McNaughton. That one let go. Cooper Buswell bemused. Now, Lambton sending numbers forward. Cahill dispossessed. Burston rolling around on the ground. Roebuck. Made that one look a bit more effort than it might have needed and just lays it off for Hurley.
Yeah, I think so. Little pop shot there from Riley Taylor. Nothing doing really, but...
It's one of those things, though. Every little effort's counting. You want to be extra sure of things at this point. The throw now. Archbold. Bond getting himself heavily involved now. Buswell lofts it forward. Headed back by Waller. Now switched. Archbold for Archbold. Goes wide to Nankuru, but misdirected. Danellen intercepts it. He's got a man inside. That's where he goes to Griffiths. Griffiths feeds it out in front of Cahill. Cahill v Kamara. Cahill taps to the outside. Kamara, great slide tackle. Wonderful effort. Musa Kamara. Not done yet, though. The width of the pitch, it just trickles wide. Krakenthorpe's there. He'll try and cross this into the box. No, drops it back to Waller. Waller will drift it in. Hurley thinks about getting forward. All of a sudden, Griffiths at the back post. Missed touch. That would have been a prime opportunity. Blocked, not completely, fed back. Hurley gets a touch. Nankuru a touch. Everyone a touch, it seems. Blocked again. Hurley, last line. Archbold going forward, goes wide looking for Hatfield, and there's Danellen again. Can't control it until he slides into the fence. Archbold looking to move things quickly. The tempo's on here for the men in black and white. The home side, the Bears. Nankuru last touch. Looking for a throw in Archbold. Not happy with that, but it seemed pretty clear cut from our angle.
Yeah, how exciting is this, Chris? How exciting is this? Back and forth football. Jaffas with an opportunity now just to get some fresh air. But a couple of golden opportunities there for the Jaffas. And my goodness. You can't get a breath. Do not take your eyes off this one.
Burke Farling, look at that touch. Almost too tricky for himself. Touches the ball out in front and nearly loses his footing. He's pushed back by Langlois. Nice ball there through the midfield for Buswell. Goes wide. Hatfield out on the left. Hatfield versus Danellen. Hatfield gets to the outside. Feeds it into the box. Push wide. Appeals for a penalty. Archbold just couldn't quite get that on target. He's on the ground. Weston fans calling for a point to the spot, but the referee points for a goal kick. And my goodness, could they get any closer, the Bears?
Wow. Yeah, the appeals are muted now. Blake Archbold still stays down. There was no doubt he looked like he got good contact on that, though, Chris. It was the inside of his right foot as the ball came across his body. Not really too sure. We don't have the luxury of a replay at the moment, but wow, that's one of his best opportunities there for the Western Bears. My goodness, they've been close this second half.
Jaffas is going to make another change with 4.5 minutes remaining. Matt Cahill will make way for Carter Smith. Certainly no view to park the bus here. Dave Tanchevsky brings an attacker on for an attacker. Carter Smith, another one like Jordan Goo that we talked about, made the mid-season switch from Valentine to the Jaffas. And has been a really good impact player off the bench for them. Big, rangy forward.
What do you think the instructions are?
I think they're going to be looking to go forward here. I think they don't want to do it at the expense of conceding, but I think Dave Tanchevsky, the way his team's played, they've gone after goals through this run, and they'll be looking for another goal here. And they get him out in front here. Taylor takes a strike. Roebuck off the front leg. Taylor again. Roebuck comes again. Big last line saves. Chris Hurley getting around the boys, giving them raps, giving them pats on the back. I thought Taylor might have managed to nab the winner there.
Yeah, massive Roebuck. He stands up there for Western Bears.
3.5 minutes to go. And then it'll be stoppage time. Lambton, have they got a foot into the grand final? Can they get the second foot in here with a second goal? Sam Denellen steps up to the corner. He'll use the right boot. He'll drift it back away from the face of goal. Look for the advancing run. Look for Smith here, the height of him. You can tell while they're keen to score, they're not pushing numbers forward like they would. Smith gets up to it. It beats him at the back post. Roebuck again.
Wow.
What a save. That was driven at a rate of knots. And Roebuck gets two hands to it and parries it over the bar.
It's one of the best saves we've seen today for sure. Wow, he stood up. In fact, both goalkeepers have stood up. Looks like a substitution's been made.
Kalen
Blake Archbold coming off.
Kalen Law coming on, the youngster. You know how highly touted he is. He's electric. They've got the two pacemen now, Law and Niankuru sitting up front. And a sneaky Chris Hatfield just hiding on halfway by the sideline here. This set piece, Denellen curls it in. Met by Smith. And he's not the winner. The substitute has an instant impact. Carter Smith with the header into the top corner for the Lambton Jaffas to double their lead late in regulation time. And you have to feel he's all but booked the Jaffas ticket in the grand final and extended that run to 9 games unbeaten.
Wow, there we go, 2-0. The Magic Man off the bench. The mid-season signing has delivered. 2-0 to the Jaffas. And you have to think, Chris, it's all wrapped up now.
Weston are going to need a minor miracle here at Bear Park. You already see some fans making their way to the exit. It's a little disappointing, but it's understandable. It's been a great showing from Weston. Take nothing away. They have left nothing out there, but they now have a minute 40 plus stoppage time to find 2 goals. They won't resign here. They're going to push forward. Chris Hatfield's there. Gets inside. Lockie Griffiths, I'm not sure what he's doing. That is just silly and cynical and goes straight into the book.
No doubt they'll be setting this one to put it into the box. Oh no, play on, short.
Goes short, Archibald goes wide. 2 players around there and Tom Waller. He stood tall today and he literally stood tall. They're getting the header away, but Weston rushing to take this corner. 60 seconds of regulation time remaining. Jared Roebuck's up there. This is what we like to see. Send the keeper forward. The scenes if he can get one home. Farling curls it in. Topple Stanley gets ahead to it. Lambton staying composed, not rushing things. Griffiths doesn't get it far. Taylor pushed it across the sideline. Roebuck tracks back. Now he comes forward again. He's going to be getting his steps up over the next couple of minutes. Watch the 4th official. Pot shot taken. Roebuck's out there. Don't touch it with your hands, son. That's the last thing we need to see. Just gets inside the 18-yard box. Rolls it out for himself. Go the length. It's like the old days of playing FIFA. Send the keeper. Let him run the field. Beveridge. Kalen Law pushing forward with a run. Farling wide on the right. He's going to cross it in. Is he? No, pulls back. Now takes it in. Sam Denellen's back there picking it off the post. Farling again. He's going to take a strike. He gives it to Hurley, the captain. Off the post.
Whoa.
Off the intersection of the post and crossbar. Look, that was miles away off the boot. My goodness. 5 minutes of added time. The offside flag goes up against Carter Smith.
What is happening here, Chris?
It's absolute mayhem, it's madness, and it's all you want to see in finals football here at Rockwell Automation Park. 5 minutes for the Bears to save their season. 5 minutes for the Jaffas to hang on and head to the grand final against Magic. It's
Unbelievable.
heart-mouth stuff. Oh,
That it is. That it is.
where would you rather be, Buttes? What a
Can't tell
time. What a
Couldn't tell
time. Now Carter Smith. Chris Hurley. Thought we were going to have a captain's goal there for a moment. Hurley lofts it forward looking for Hatfield. Riley McNaughton stands strong. The Bears with a throw. Hurley's there. Hatfield's there. Who's taking the throw? Hurley is. The captain. Players out on their feet. Fatigue kicking in. It's warm out there. And this has been absolute end-to-end enthralling finals football for you, live and free on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube channel. And you feel Weston just hope fading, time ticking away. A minute of stoppage time gone. They push this forward and wide. Hatfield, one-on-one v Denellen. Hatfield takes a strike. Langlois blocks it. It spills out wide. Farling curls it in. Oh, Kennedy takes it over the line. A corner. A little misstep from Ben Kennedy. That's a rare sight. Like hen's teeth.
Yeah, very rare sight. And again, they got to move quick.
Farling's going to take it quickly. And here he is, Roebuck again. He's getting his 100-metre sprints in. The big body in red. Can he be the difference? Can he get ahead to it here? He's getting up for it. He's Roebuck. It beats him. Hadfield strikes towards the post, headed away, Sam Donnellan. I'll tell you what, Sam Donnellan really known for his attacking runs, but he stood so tall repeatedly in defence today. And it looks like he might get the best birthday gift of all, a ticket to the grand final next week. Niankuru takes this corner. Lofts it in dangerously. Off the woodwork. Caelan Law takes a strike. He takes a second strike. Farling takes a strike over the crossbar. And is that the final blow for Weston? Just over 2 minutes of stoppage time gone. Kennedy will take his time here. We've got 2 footballs. A little bit of gamesmanship from the Jaffas.
Oh, wow. No one's leaving. No one is leaving Bears Park right now. It's just, this game's had it all.
I was going to say, I think a few of those Bears fans made their way for the gate, but they're just hovering around that southern end here. My goodness. I'll tell you what, there's nothing I like seeing more than a goalkeeper set up for a corner. A defensive goalkeeper down there. That just gets you excited.
It's brilliant.
Chaos ball. Kamara gets ahead to it. Prodded forward by Bond. Rolls out into space. Beveridge is out there. They're just having to make lung-busting efforts here. Effort after effort. Farling. Waller gets a touch. They say it came off Farling last. Farling, not sure what he's doing there. He's throwing the ball away. 3 minutes of stoppage time gone. I don't know how they feel. I'm cooked.
Me also. Here we go. Riley Taylor with a chance.
Taylor looking to ice it. Goes wide. Griffiths pulls it back. Roebuck. Hurley does enough to block it. Roebuck. Going to go forward. He's going to have to go long. Who go long? Well control. Pat Bonds put it into the new grandstand. And we've got a foul. Have we? We have the foul going against Hatfield.
Yeah, Topo Stanley using all of his experience there. He knows exactly how to manage a game and see this one out. And as we approach the last minute of additional time, you'd have to think the Jaffas are going to see this one out.
What a run they've been on, my goodness. Tell you what, I don't think you're going to hear the end of this. You wrote your teammates off. You tipped Weston to win it. I tell you what, they've gone close. It's been a phenomenal season for them. Of course, they made it to the last 32 of the Australia Cup. They've got here to the preliminary final today, but the Jaffas, they're rolling on at the moment. It's going to take a miracle. Langlois will just push it forward. They'll use up the time. Archibald goes sliding in. Crackenthorpe, the substitute, takes a pot shot. Griffiths thinks about a shot. Feeds it forward for Taylor. Can he wind it in? No, it's going to go across the byline. They're going to be at the referee's discretion. Almost 5 minutes up. Jared Roebuck, I tell you what, hasn't he pulled out some last line saves in his second half? I know that they've had 2 goals against him, but he's been phenomenal today. So many of these Western players can hold their head high. This has been one of the absolute best games of football and fitting for this time here. Oh, that's going to be a straight red. That is madness. That is madness. He's just going to run off. Yeah, good choice. Western need to be Lambton need to be careful here. That is an absolute brain fade. That is madness and stupidity from Burke Farling late in this game. I understand his frustration with the season being over, but that's disappointing.
Yeah, not a good look at all.
Topo Stanley needs to be careful here. He's already on a yellow earlier in the final series. I understand the emotion and reaction, but Farling just needs to head off. Ben Kennedy's giving him a send-off. The Lambton Jaffas fans are giving him a send-off. They condone it. I understand the emotion, but that is just silly football. And that will tick away time, and that will end Western's season. And what a sour note for the Bears season to finish on, unfortunately. Yeah, their import's been phenomenal, and that will forever stick in terms of how he's finished his first season here at the Bears. It's disappointing.
Yeah, very disappointing. Very disappointing, Chris. And the retaliation as well after the card come out was not a good look as well. So,
understand emotions are high, but Lambton need to be so careful. And I'm 100% certain that's the message the referee's saying there. Farling knew straight away, tried to run off, and then the Lambton players engaging him. As we said, he's been wearing his heart on his sleeve since the start of this one. It's been emotional for him. Langlois lofts it wide, and the whistle goes. And the Jaffas, they keep
on rolling. 3 knockout finals, 3 major scalps. Maitland, Edgeworth, and now the Weston Bears here at Rockwell Automation Park. That is 9 games unbeaten, and David Tanchevsky's men have earned their shot at Broadmeadow Magic in next week's grand final. Beauts, they were written off mid-season. This turnaround's been something special. How do you sum up the resilience, belief and achievement in this Jaffas group?
I don't think I can find the words at the moment. The way they've turned around this season so far has just been quite exceptional. It was definitely written off by a lot of people, a lot of fans. But I know one thing is that the boys in the dressing room, they never gave up. And again, this has been the pinnacle of the display of what they've produced over the last 2 months. So we were treated to a great game, a great 90 minutes today. 2 sides that have been exceptional all year round. And although we did finish on a bit of a sour note, the Jaffas, well, they're in the big dance. They've got an opportunity against their old rivals, Broadmeadow Magic, next week in the grand final. So how exciting.
Certainly is a wonderful preliminary final. Ignore that last moment and not take away from 95 minutes of wonderful football. It had absolutely everything. We opened in the first half with a Matt Cahill individual strike. We finished with a Carter Smith header. 2 goals to 0. The Jaffas win this one. They head on next week. We have the best regular season in history, facing up against one of the best run homes we've seen. They've come from 4th, elimination finals. Essentially, they've been playing elimination final football for 8 weeks. They're here now. They're at the big dance. Darling Street Oval next week. The ticket is stamped. Broadmeadow versus Lambton. You won't want to be anywhere else. Of course, if you can't be there, you'll be able to tune in and watch it on Northern New South Wales Football's YouTube channel. But in the meantime, let's turn our eyes to the ladies this afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Maitland up against Newcastle Olympic. Congratulations.